All right. Hey guys. We have something really exciting planned for you tonight. So a lot of times we share Zooms from other leaders and other teams and things that they're doing. And you know what? Our team is doing a whole lot of awesome right now. So we are going to feature some of our VIP leaders tonight and then a couple other awesome special guests in the crowd who are just crushing it with customers right now. But I want to start this Zoom by saying I got to ambassador in 13 months without being a top customer enroller. I think it's very important that you guys know that while signing customers, like 100 customers, 40, 20, whatever a month is really awesome. And I probably could have gotten to ambassador a lot faster had I been so awesome at signing customers like some of these friends we're going to talk to tonight. It is not something that has to be done, okay? There's a lot of ways to rock this business. So the last thing I want tonight to do for some of you is to discourage you that you are not, oh, how come I'm not signing 20 or 30 a month? What I want you to take away from this is that it's possible. You're gonna take away some tips that are gonna teach you how to do that. And you know, maybe you're gonna sign more than you signed last month, and that is a win. So maybe you signed 4 last month and you're gonna sign 8 this month by what you learned tonight. I want you to be really proud of that, okay? And don't compare yourself to what other people are doing. The whole idea of this is to learn what our awesome, we call them powerhouse customer enrollers are doing. And we're gonna take tips from that and rock our own businesses. So with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Krista, who is gonna tell us how she is literally month over month, like for the last 5 years, she is a customer signing machine every month. And this month is just a whole nother level. So Krista, where are you at?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi. Can you see me? I'm
I see you. Yep, you are beautiful in your car in the darkness. It's great.
Well, hi, I'm Krista and I am an ambassador and I've been with the company for 6 years. And I don't totally rock customers every single month, but I do sign customers every month. There have been a lot of months where I've not signed distributors, but customers are something that I don't know why. It's just kind of been my gift since I started. And when I first started, my very first month, I think I signed, not the first month. The first month I like barely got my 4. But the next month, I think I signed like 25 customers that month, and that was my highest signing customer month ever. And then since then, I've been pretty steady between 4 and 15 every single month. But this month, I'm up to 20 again, and it's been crazy because like Kim was talking about our warm market on the boot camp page, and it's everything that she's teaching us, you guys. So if you haven't been over there and you've gone through her boot camp posts, that's exactly what I'm doing. And she did talk about in her live video today about a hybrid, building kind of as a hybrid and using both in-person and online techniques. So I'm not someone that has a ton of parties and blitzes. Like I'm not talking about that kind of in-person, but I'm also not talking about only online, only on Instagram, only using stories on Facebook and Instagram. I use a good combination of both. And you guys, I have 4 kids. So I'm constantly going, I'm constantly at their school, going to their parties, volunteering. Right now we're at basketball practice. And normally I would be inside meeting the coaches and the other parents and talking to them about things we have in common. Like our kids are in basketball right now. And my kids do different sports all year long, all 4 of them. And so it gives me a lot of opportunity to purposefully meet other people. And so what I do is I meet them and then I add them on Facebook, and then they see my Facebook stuff and we go from there. But it's a really good combination of both. I don't just like start talking to them like, hey, oh, do you want to lose weight? Like I have this product. No, it's like genuinely being a friend and bringing them into my circle. And then, you know, they know me. We have kids the same age. We live in a small town. They're going to be seeing me forever. And so, and I feel like when you know someone in person, that gives them a lot better reason to not unfollow you when they see your business posts and everything. But I think the second really key factor is that I love the products, like love, love, love. The products work. And so I think the number one underlying factor in signing a lot of customers is your belief in the products. And so there are a few products here and there that don't work the best for people. Like I'm not a huge fan of New You for myself. So I've never posted about it, and I don't sign customers for New You, but that's okay. There are tons of other products that I love, 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 use every day, believe in, and why wouldn't I want to be sharing that with people? you know, and that belief shines through in everything I do, everything I post, everything I talk about. People see me drinking my ketones at Jazzercise every single morning. It's very easy to share what you love. And the same thing kind of goes with the business. If you believe in it enough, that shines through. You can't fake belief. And so when you have a really good, solid belief, that just is so important in promoting and sharing the products.
Awesome. So I think that Krista is like the epitome of like that busy mom. People that say, I don't have time for this business. Like she is always somewhere, like cheerleading. And like sometimes her Facebook feed, I am exhausted looking up and I'm thinking, oh my God, in like 5 years, that's my life, right? Because my kids are a little bit younger. So Krista, you are very shy. How do you get them on Facebook? Like, do you go home and like search for them, or do you literally ask?
So when I meet someone, I'm so bad at remembering names, but when I meet someone now, I make it my purpose to remember what their name is, so that when I go home or like after I'm done talking to them for 5 minutes, I go to the bathroom and I look them up on Facebook on my phone, because I'll forget their name. And then, you know, since we do live in a small town, usually we have several mutual friends, so I can tell right away who I'm looking for. But yeah, I do. I go right home and I look them up online. And for someone who's shy, it's so much easier for me to look them up online and add them on Facebook than to like ask for the phone number. I don't know why. Just clicking that send a friend request button is easy for me.
Okay. So you don't even tell them you're going to send them a friend request or anything. You just
no, every now and then, like when we're walking around downtown and my kids are, you know, petting someone else's dog and we start talking to that family, I'll be like, are you on Facebook? We should totally connect so that maybe our kids can hang out one time. Every now and then I'll do that, but that's not normal.
Awesome. I love it. And then last thing, so you sign all these customers. Would you say that you usually just send them your website? Do you call them on the phone? Do you do it yourself? Like what's the process of going from maybe they comment on your picture?
Good questions. So this is something that I've been doing more recently, and I think it has contributed to my signing so many customers this month, that and ThermoFight X. But I get them interested, and once I know they're interested, I'll say, what's your cell phone number? Let me text you a direct link to the ThermoFight. That way you can read about it and go from there. And that no one has ever said no to that. I get their cell phone, I text them, because, you know, we can't, since I build mostly on Facebook, you can't send your direct link. And so I always just ask for their cell phone and send them the link to that product.
So you go to your website, click on ThermoFight, copy and paste in the search bar, and you text it. That's genius. So now they're not going to land on the wrong website.
Right.
I don't know if y'all, like, it's hard to find some of our products right now, the way that it's laid out.
Yes, that's the other thing, is until they fix that layout, I got tired of typing out 5 different steps every time I was trying, and then I would have to go back and look, because I don't remember which product is in which 3 categories.
And now you have them on text for follow-up should they not sign up right now. Perfect. Well, thank you, Krista. I know you have to run. Is there anything else you want to say about customer signing?
And then my last thing is not being afraid to, like, you're not going to annoy people when you follow up. You have a hot product that's sold out. Like, you really want to get them on this list. So not being afraid to follow up, and not being afraid to use your social media to tell your story, to tell that, like, you're getting results from your clients, that your products rock. Don't be afraid to share that. There's a difference between being salesy, because that does annoy people, and genuinely sharing something you love. Like, people share about a pizza place they love all the time. It's no different, right? So don't be afraid to post every single day about stuff that you love, because that's what I've been doing for 6 years.
I love it. And I follow Krista because we are like actual real life friends. And often I will have like a day where I haven't posted about my product. And I'm like, dang it. Like, Krista posts about her products every single day. Like, she is like the poster child for consistency. So be consistent.
I love the product. It's easy.
Yes. Be like Krista. Like, it just exudes from her. Like, she loves our products. And Krista, you look amazing, by the way. Like, your face is, I mean, look, you're like, it's late at night, and doesn't she look awesome? You're like, she does. It's the collagen. It's magical coffee. You look fantastic. And thank you. And I get to squeeze your face in 2 days.
Yes. Love you. See you guys at conference.
See you soon.
Bye.
All right. We are going to jump over to Michelle, AKA Kim's Zoom tonight. Hello. Hello. So Michelle is going to take the floor. I love this. Like, I have a couple questions now and then to pop in, but you know, Michelle has been in this almost as long as I have. And being that I can see her e-suite, I know she's had months where she has crushed customers, and then she had life happen. Most of y'all follow her journey and her story. but she is like, to me, the fact that you can just turn on that switch, jump back in, and become a mass enroller overnight. Like, that's what's so awesome about this business. So Michelle, what have you been doing these last couple months? And yes, share with us. Tell us all the things.
Yeah, so I think it's funny. Krista shared how she has always been like a loyal customer signing machine. And then I was kind of the opposite. At the beginning, the first month, I signed a lot of customers. And then I remember specifically saying to Amanda, like, I can't sign distributors. If only I could sign distributors. And she's like, well, then start saying you're going to sign distributors. And I was like, okay. And then I kind of like switched it up with how I was being passionate about the business, passionate about what this was going to give to me and stuff. And I started signing a ton of distributors again. And then fast forward like years later, I was only signing distributors. And I remember coming to Krista, like, I only ever sign distributors. How do you sign so many customers? And she kind of told me what she just did. And so honestly, guys, it's truly like being a product of the product and sharing what you're passionate about. And I don't use every single product that we have. Like, I'll be the first person to tell you I've never done a full treatment of wraps. But I love that fat burning coffee. I love that collagen. I love so many of our other products. And so the Thermo X, like, first of all, that's a product that like most people are selling like crazy and they haven't even tried it. So that should be able to tell you right then and there, you don't need to be using every single product. You just need to be sharing people's testimonies and the excitement and how this thing is flying off the shelves, and you can sell it. Because I sold at the beginning when the wraps were so hot. I sold wraps like crazy. I didn't use them, but I could sell them because I could share other people's results and the passion and excitement that these products are bringing to them. Now, if you can add your testimony on top of that, it's going to be a whole lot easier, I believe. But like the Thermo X, let's be honest, most people have only had it for a week. And I have signed the most customers this month than I've ever probably signed in the history of being with It Works, because like I'm just sharing the science behind it, the excitement, and how this thing is literally selling out like crazy and what it can do for everybody. And that is what's getting everybody. Like it's that time, it's that boom time and that momentum, and people want the product. So I think obviously what's super important is that you're growing your network every single day, day in and day out, whether it's meeting people while you're out and about like Krista, or whether it's adding to your social media continuously every day, because you want to keep growing that network. You're going to run through your warm market. And when that warm market's up, if you haven't been growing your network, you're not going to be growing your business. So it's important now to be adding continuously so that 4 months later, you have those people who have been watching you this whole time, and they're going to be like, ooh, what is it that she's doing? What's that product that she's using that's making her lose weight, you know? So growing your network. And then consistency, sharing about the product, whether you're using it or not. If you can share the excitement and the passion, what it's either doing for you or your friends, people are going to want it. And engaging and forming those relationships are super vital, because they want to know that they can trust you and come to you for it. And when you have that trust built up, whether it's in person or on social media, they're going to trust you and they're going to do it. One thing I do that's different than Krista, that has given me like a lot of success lately with closing deals, because I feel like I used to have people interested in the product and then I would send them to my website and I would lose them and they would vanish and ghost on me. I don't send anybody to my website anymore. I get their information, and I used to be absolutely terrified of this because I was like, nobody's just going to give me their credit card information. Now I don't even give them the option. Now I just say, they're like, okay, how do I order? And once I run through, like, I always present the two options of being a loyal customer or distributor. I never make up that decision for them. I always tell them, well, there's two ways you can save 40% off of retail. One way is by being a distributor like me. If you want to earn some extra cash and some free product, this is an amazing option. The other way is just by doing our 98 challenge. You'll save 40% off, earn points towards free product. Which option sounds best for you? They tell me the option. If they want to be a distributor, that's the only time I send them to my website. If they want to be a loyal customer, I say, awesome, I'm so excited to get you on this product. This is like literally what I say. Awesome, I'm so excited to get you on this product. All I need is this information from you. Your name, credit card number, expiration, billing and shipping address, date of birth, and email. I'm going to delete this information as soon as you give me that, and I'll screenshot the order when I'm done. And Yeah, that's it. They send me the information. I enter it in through my website. And that is literally how I've been closing so many customers. Yes, it takes me a little bit more time because I have to go and do it myself. But then I feel like I'm not losing any sales. Like, I can pretty much say once I give somebody that 100% close rate, like they send me the information back. I maybe have had 2 people out of this whole thing say like, oh, I don't want to give you my credit card information. Is there a website link that I can do? And then I send them my link and they do it that way. But yeah, that's it.
I love that. I remember seeing that tip just like a few months ago, like on a VIP page. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like people really give you their info. That's genius. And I know on all of our team pages, we've got like a little, like a word swag type deal that says, this is the info I need that you can send, or you can save it to a notes app. And that's so true. I have signed 3 customers today, which, hey, y'all, that's a lot for Amanda in one day. That probably, in 5 years, I've probably never signed 3 customers in one day. And what I did not do for the first time is I didn't even offer the distributor side because I was so busy. I literally was like, here, this is my website. And they signed up. So I know this is a customer thing, but I want to make sure that you guys heard what Michelle said. You should be offering the distributor side to every person that is interested. Like tonight, one of my customers I signed, she commented on my host post wanting to be a host. And so when I sent her, this is what you need to do, she ignored everything I said and said, oh, well, actually, I just want to try that new product you've been posting about. Okay. So if we're not presenting, hey, this is what I say. Hey, I don't know your financial situation and I would love to sign you up as a customer, but could you use some extra income? That's literally what I say. And I, just like Michelle, my first 4.5 years, I was a distributor signing machine. I rarely signed customers because I converted them all to distributors. So, but right now, customers are the heartbeat of our business. So we're going to just get everybody in and they're going to have their own testimonies and we're going to have a boom of all these customers turning into distributors soon. I just know it. So that is awesome, Michelle. So last question. I want you to think back to like your last 2 customers that you've signed. It was probably today or last night. And how did you meet them? Where did they come from?
Social media.
So are you like joining groups with people, like epilepsy groups, or like how are you, I would ask you, Michelle, well, how exactly are you growing your network right now? What's a tip you could give on that?
It's definitely Facebook groups. I'm joining different groups that just common interest to me, like pretty much that profile that Kim made you guys all kind of revamp on your interest and your highlights of your life that you're going to be displaying on your social media. Those are the type of groups that I'm joining. So I love, like, epilepsy is one of my passions, world travel, Orange Theory Fitness. Those are all things that I'm passionate about and that I share about every single day. So I will either go and search like the pages specifically related to that. Like there's a pediatric epilepsy page on Facebook. There's an Orange Theory Fitness page. And then if I want to get really specific to growing my networks in certain areas, certain countries, I will look up that interest in that specific country too. And then I'll go on that page or I'll request to join those groups. And then I'll just ask like silly questions. I may even know the answers already to them on those groups, but I'll be like, hey guys, what is a keto-friendly diet that I could give to my, like a dessert that I could give my son that's a 4-to-1 ratio or whatever. People will comment and then I'll become friends with them. I'll add them and then I'll say thank you so much and just make general talk through them and engaging like you would be doing on your social, like on their posts and stuff, to engage so that they start seeing your stuff, because that's the way our algorithms work. If you're not engaging and commenting on their stuff, they're not going to see your stuff. So yeah, groups is my big thing.
Awesome. I also want to say, I see lots of people asking questions, but I have like squirrel syndrome, so I cannot, and I think that some people are helping answer them. I promise at the end, I will scroll them. I did see one little snippet, and I can tell you that the 3 customers I signed today, not a single one of them commented on my posts or liked my post. One was from Instagram. So do not go based on people liking or commenting on your post if they're seeing it. I assure you they are seeing them. So, all right, Michelle, I can come back to you later. You got anything else to add before I move on? Oh, look, she kind of.
There you go. You froze.
Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. You got anything else to add? Any final tips?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, if you think of anything, just pop back in. So we are going to jump. I don't see her, but I know she was on here. Where is Hannah? The like loyal customer queen.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, Hannah.
Hey.
Presidential Diamond Hannah in the house, you guys. So honestly, the whole reason that I wanted to throw the Zoom together was because Hannah is like blowing my mind with customers, her and her entire team, and I want to know what the heck she's doing. So I'm going to grab my notes while Hannah teaches us what she, like, how many have you signed this month?
I think well, my number is like 48 or 49 right now, but I have had some of those are like reordering customers that have stopped autos in the past, but are now reordering the thermo. So new customers, I would say like 39 and then 10 like returning customers.
That is like amazing, Hannah, like seriously amazing. So I'm just going to let you share whatever the heck you want to share with us about how the heck you are doing that.
Well, just like Krista and Michelle both said, like I'm really super consistent on my social media. I build my business 99.99% from social media and Facebook specifically. I do have an Instagram, and you know, like if you were to follow me on Instagram, you'd notice that like I hardly ever post on there. It's not something that like I'm using to really build my business. I do add stories on there, but like I said, 99% of my business comes from Facebook, and I'm just so consistent about, you know, sharing about my lifestyle because of the business and sharing about the products. Just like Krista, I probably share product posts every single day. Because, you know, I drink the coffee every single day. If I'm wrapping that day, like I'll share about the fact that I'm wrapping, or, you know, anything like that. Coffee is probably like my number one go-to for posts. So now that we have the ThermoFi X, I think it's just like the easiest thing to sell. But that's like number one, is like you have to be consistent, and anything else that I say after this isn't going to work if you're not being consistent through posting. It all works together. And if you're just missing out a piece completely, then, you know, you're not going to be signing as, you know, high in numbers. So, you know, number one is, like I said, being consistent and sharing, you know, like valuable content that has like emotion, excitement, passion, all behind it, and sharing your lifestyle as well. So you can't just be sharing about the product all day long. Like Krista's not just sharing about the product. Amanda was like, oh, you know, I get tired looking at her posts, because she's sharing her lifestyle, and that's what people are automatically connecting with. And they can see that you're not just pushing a product on them. So like, so that's super important. And then the other thing that I do, going back to that, I do sign a lot of customers just from that. So I'm so consistent about like posting my lifestyle with the products, or even just results of other people's excitement. So then when I do make a post, like I sign so many customers when I just like type a super basic like post about the ThermoFi X, like who wants to lose 31 pounds in 90 days, with that like background color, because when they see that, it's like I'm almost like opening up my business for all of these people to come flood to me, because I've been posting so consistently about it in a lifestyle way for, you know, the past like 3 or 4 days. So then when I go to make that post, it's like, boom, okay, like here's my opportunity to order with her. She has 45 spots open for the keto coffee. So that's one way that I sign a lot of customers. I have a lot of people coming to me. The other thing that I love doing is the stories. Again, like I'm so consistent about posting in my story with a product story almost every single day. If it's not a product story, it's a business story. You know, like inviting people to join my team. But I'm super consistent with that, and I teach my team to do the same thing. If I post something to my story, I share it with my team page usually, just so, you know, it's very duplicatable. They can post the same thing, or they can go and create their own, or, you know, look one up on Pinterest. They're all over the place on Pinterest that you can find. So again, I sign a lot of customers from that, like adding a poll at the end. The poll is awesome because people click on it by accident all the time. If you put it in a spot that like, you know, that somebody's going to click on it, it's just opening the door for you to be in their inbox. So I love doing that. I sign a lot of customers that way as well. And then the other thing that, I sign a lot of customers from is host to post. If you don't know what host to post is, it is like amazing. It will transform your business with signing customers. And that's just simply when you have a friend of yours on Facebook make a post for you. So I make it a point almost every single day to message like at least 25 people, just asking them to do a host to post. And all I do I go through my friends list on Facebook and just ask them, like, I'll just say something like, hey girl, I know this is super random, but you know, do you mind posting this post below for me? I have like the exact scripts I can share with Amanda, and then she can share it with you guys. And I just got these from Dee Brooks. She posted in our VIPs triples and up page that she had signed 127 customers this month. Like, I want to like race her with like customers, so I have that competitive side. But I just literally copied and did exactly what she said to do, because I know if something's working for somebody who's doing better than me, I can, you know, try doing it, and it's probably going to work for me too. So I just copied exactly what she was doing, because she was obviously doing amazing with that. And so I sign a lot of customers from doing the host to post, just, you know, when they post that status on their wall, and then if somebody comments, I'm just simply messaging them and trying to seal the deal with them immediately. And then another way that my team and I, you know, love doing, my team has been signing a ton of this from this month. I have a lot of girls pushing for some awesome promotions, and just messaging and asking for product models has been just huge for me and them. When I was promoting to presidential in August, I signed 67 customers that month, and that's what I was doing. I was mainly just reaching out, and that's the main way that I was signing customers, was from reaching out and just asking if people wanted to be a product model. And again, those are just like scripts that I got from some awesome rock stars in this business, like Morgan Martin, Jocelyn Yates. I just, again, like, you know, I knew that they were doing something right. So I just listened to their videos and applied the training that they were providing to my business. And, you know, everything exploded. So those are like the main 4 things that I do to sign customers. Yeah, I don't know if you have any questions.
Yes, look, I told you I'm taking notes over here. So, okay, Hannah, my question, which I know other people must have, is how do you have 25 new people to message every single day? So are you adding like 300 new friends a day? Like, so, and how do you keep track of who's the next 25 people you're going to message?
Yeah, so I'm always adding to my network on Facebook. I'm just like every single day, again, I make it a point to add at least 100 people. And this is so easy. It can be, you know, be done like pretty quickly and simply. Don't overthink it. I personally like to add locally and with people that I have something in common with. So I have, you know, a lot of local people on my Facebook page, but we don't know each other. I've, you know, just added them from Facebook. And the way I do this is I just click on the events tab in Facebook, and then it gives you all of these different events that are going on in your town. So I pick ones that, you know, relate to me. Usually it's some like family outing, like, you know, Disney on Ice is coming to this area or something. Or, you know, anything like that, or like meet and greet with Elmo, or family fall day. I don't know, anything like that. I just click on that event and then click on who's, said that they were going or interested, and I just add all of the moms from there. And that's one way I add. And then the other way that you can add, if you want to expand outside of where you live, Facebook does this basically for you and finds people you're connected with for you. Because as you're scrolling Facebook, you'll notice ads are always popping up, and like, you know, ads will pop up for anything that you're talking about. So if you're talking about your kids all the time, you'll get ads for like diapers or Carter's clothes. You know, like I was searching hair tools the other day, so now I have tons of like hair ads coming through my feed. So anything that you are interested in and you're talking about or researching online, those ads are coming up. And again, you can just add new friends from, you know, those ads that are coming through your feed, and just add the likers or the commenters on those. So I'm doing that every single day. I'm adding like 100, you know, sometimes more. Not, you know, and I'm not perfect. So some days I obviously miss days where I don't add 100 new people, and not all those people are obviously accepting my friend request. But I know, you know, every day I am getting accepts as friends. So that's how I'm adding new people to my network every single day. And then to keep track, I just do the friends list method, where I've downloaded my friends list. And if you download your friends list, it gives it to you in the like time when you became friends. So like my first friend on Facebook is all the way at the bottom, and then just like scrolling up, you know, the people you become friends with more recently are the ones closer to the top. So I just downloaded my friends list, scrolled all the way to the bottom, and I've just been working my way up the entire thing.
Yeah. Can we just go back a minute and say, those were like amazing tips, like the events thing, like I've never done that. That's like genius. Anyone can do that. And I do think that for our downlines, it's still kind of a foreign concept for those oldies of us that have been in to just add strangers on Facebook. I know for me, like I got all the way to ambassador 99.9% from Instagram. So it's totally different now that I feel like many of us are kind of migrating over to Facebook. So we've got to get out of our own head of adding friends on Facebook. Like it's not any different than adding strangers on Instagram. It's the exact same thing, especially if you're going to utilize social media. If you're like, oh, I want my stuff on private, then you better be like Lisa Walton doing events every single weekend and doing stuff outside. So I love that. And the ads, like it's genius. All of this is genius. I love it. Okay. And I had this question and I saw someone asked it. So I know you have some red in you, but you are the little shy, sweet kind. So let's say that I accidentally had my thumb on that place. What would you say to me? Let's say that you like knew I probably did it on accident, or even if I responded back and said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to vote. How are you going to turn me into a customer? What do you say if it was an accident?
To be honest, I don't usually try to turn them around at that point. Like, I'm just being honest. Like you totally could, like you could figure out some clever way to do it. I just feel like I have more, I have tons of other conversations that are going on that I don't need to suddenly like convince that person to become a PLC. But what I found happens is even some people that do accidentally click it will say like, oh, I hit that on accident, but yes, actually I am interested. Can you tell me more?
Oh.
So like that's what happens for me. But like, I mean, you could definitely, like if you need to find more PLCs somehow, that's a great way to find more PLCs.
I love it. So it's kind of like, even though this is about customers, the way I signed several distributors last year, going through my friends list. So y'all, if you don't have your friends list printed out, you are missing it. That is literally a stack of potentials. Is I was messaging for distributors and saying, hey, do you happen to know anyone who might be interested in working from home? It's kind of the same thing because people are like, oh, well, I'm interested, So awesome. Okay, cool. So I learned a lot. Last question I had for you is, are you utilizing lists when you're posting, or is all of your stuff like on public? You just make public posts?
Yeah, wait, I just wanted to say one thing about when you were like saying that events thing is genius. The reason I started doing that is because I just wanted to give this tip that I find people accept your friend request more often. Like there's a greater chance of them accepting when they see that you're from the same town as them or like a town next door. So like if I was to like go and add somebody from California, they might be like, who's this random girl from Massachusetts trying to friend me? But if they're like, oh, like she lives in Chelmsford, I feel like they are just like, maybe I know her, like, maybe I know her from somewhere. So that's why I do that. And I think it automatically gives people more trust in you when they feel like you're their neighbor. Versus having to like take a longer time to build trust and relationship with people for them to come to you. And that's, a lot of it. It's obviously that trust and relationship, just like Krista and Michelle were both talking about. Like, just because I'm doing these extra things, I'm not, eliminating that part of the business. Like I said, all of these things go together to make that like perfect puzzle, just click. I
feel like it's easier too, for them to be like, oh, hey, do I know you? Like, I feel like that happens more on Facebook than in 5 years, I've had like 2 people ask me on Instagram, how do I know you? Because that's just like what Instagram is. But if it's on Facebook, you can be like, oh, you're local to me. Facebook suggested you because we live, it's just easier to kind of put that out there. So what I asked you, I knew you forgot. That's why I wrote stuff down is, what did I ask you? Oh, are you using lists or are you just posting on public? Is your profile like public?
I don't use lists. Like that's way too green for me. Like I'm not really like organized in that way. I actually, for a really long time, I was posting all of like my lifestyle, which to me, that means anything that doesn't have anything to do with It Works, but it really does because I'm sharing like the freedom of this business behind it, but nothing that said like, this is my story with It Works or because of It Works or, I'm working from home, none of that or any product, anything that wasn't business, I was putting on public. And then all of my It Works stuff was going on private just because I didn't want that immediate impression from people to be like, this girl's trying to sell me something. But I've actually just recently turned everything onto public. And I haven't noticed a difference whatsoever in terms of like having people accept me more frequently or not, but I just decided to put it all in public.
Awesome. I will also say that when I started this, my first probably 3 years, my Facebook was, everything was friends only. Like everything was on lockdown. And now everything is on public. I mean, there might be a post now and then, or maybe I make an album for a birthday party or whatever is just on friends only. But I just wanted to ask Hannah that because I know our boot camp is awesome and some of y'all are really green, and like Kim's method is amazing and it blows my mind how she's got lists for this and this is public. But Hannah is proof that you too can sign 60 customers a month and you don't have to do that. So that's just an option for you. So thank you so much. I know I'm going to have more questions. And I do have one more question because I know there are several of you that are signing a crap ton of customers. And look, I am up to like 12 customers this month, which y'all, for Amanda, that is a lot. So toot for me. And I am over here like, oh my God, I have 12 customers to send thank you cards to. I got to put them on a list. I'm a little overwhelmed with just my little old 12. So Hannah, for those people that do sign a lot, like how do you keep them organized? Do you have like Amanda's old school, I just write them on a piece of paper? Like how do you keep your stuff in order?
Well, every single time I gain a potential customer, they automatically get written down on a paper in my house. This is the most important thing you need to do. Like you cannot rely on Facebook Messenger to keep track of your potential customers. People will get lost. Like you need a notebook, pen and paper to write down your people that you have talked to at the end of the night every single day. And then when they sign up, you know, like I'm going through my follow-ups and they enroll as a customer, I just cross them off. So they're on paper that way, I guess. I don't go like a step further and write them down again. I just have too much going on. And then the only other way that I really keep track of them is through my emails. Like I don't delete any of my emails I never, ever like move anybody right away because I always want to wait for that confirmation email to come through because that's how I keep track. If I have like a customer reach out to me that wants me to change their auto ship, because like Michelle, I enroll 99% of my customers myself, so I'm creating their account. So a lot of people need me to edit their stuff, turn something off, change this, you know, whatever. So if, they're coming to me with a question, then, I can just search their last name in my email and their customer account automatically will come up, and that's super easy for me. But, outside of that, again, like I'm not green, so these are not the questions for me.
But I love it because you guys, like that's genius. Go into your email, put their name in the search bar, just don't delete your welcome new customer emails. I mean, that is in a sense a way to keep them all when you're mass enrolling people. I love it. So see, I'm glad I asked that question. That's perfect. So you do not have to be a very organized person to do this. I mean, if y'all saw my desk, you'd be like, what is happening over there? So
no, the only thing I am like hardcore like about is writing down people's name. Like this is the most important thing. And the only thing I am green with is my 100s list, because I know that is the only way I'm going to seal the deal with people is when I have their name written down, because I'm going to forget. And just to leave you guys with one last tip, I had this aha moment. I don't want to take up too much time, but I was at Green Carpet in Florida, and I was watching all these girls on stage saying all of these things like, I'm signing 100 customers a month. I'm doing, this. And I was like, what is wrong with me that I'm not doing that? I'm just like red on myself. I'm like really hard on myself and like that competitive side. And so I went home and I said the same thing to Kim. Like, I was like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I do that? And she's like, you can. Like, if they're doing it, you can do it. So I was watching a Morgan Martin video because she was one of the people that was on stage inspiring me. And the one thing that she said that has stuck with me forever is, I'm just talking to more people than you are. I'm having more conversations a day. And that is all this business is gaining potentials constantly over and over. Whatever way you're using to gain those potentials, just make sure that is your goal, is you're gaining potentials and constantly having conversations going on, whether you use what Krista's saying, Michelle's saying, what Ashley's going to say, whoever else, what Amanda says, it's just having more conversations.
So you brought up another good point. Look, I don't care how much time we take up because this is good stuff and I got unlimited Zoom minutes here. So Hannah, you've been in this business years now. And so what I want to make sure everyone hears is that you did not enroll. And in fact, I don't think you even got to triple being a mass customer enroller.
Right.
You were not signing that. This just happened like last summer. So literally you woke up one day and said, I'm going to be a customer enrolling machine. I'm going to watch some training videos. I'm going to do what these people are doing. And look what happened, right?
Right.
Like how many, like let's say 2 years ago, what was your average customer signing per month?
Yeah, just like Michelle, I think my first month I signed 14 customers because it was my warm market. And then after that, like, I mean, maybe for my first like 2 or 3 months, my numbers were probably higher than 4. But after that, like I got to triple in 1 year and I was not signing, you know, maybe 4 a month. And then even after that, like I was never a high customer enroller, but yeah, I was just inspired by it. And the thing that I realized I was doing for too long, and I noticed people do this, is you train yourself, you watch a video, you know all of this, you know this business like the back of your hand, especially the people that have been in longer. Like I know if you're new, you don't yet. But then you watch all this, you listen to stuff on stage, you're getting all these tips, but you're not applying it. You have to apply it and just step out of your comfort zone. I was not a messenger before. Like I followed, you know, like Kim's training, Amanda's training, and Michelle's training to the T. Like I was not somebody who liked reaching out. It wasn't in me. You know, like Amanda was saying, I'm shy. But if they were doing it and it was working, why not just try it? This business is about growth and stepping outside of your comfort zone. Those first messages that I was sending, even for reach outs for host to post, my hands were trembling because it was what I was not used to. But it got easier and easier as I saw how many people wanted this product and just never knew that they could ask me. Or, you know, the other thing too, that I noticed with messaging is it helps with the algorithm. So like I would message somebody and reach out. They, you know, probably read my message, never reply, or they just never open it because it, you know, it sounds like a reach out message. But then they start seeing my posts that they've never seen before. And then, you know, 2 months later, boom, like they message me back and they're like, oh, sorry, I never replied to you. But now that I see you posting this coffee all the time. So yeah, so definitely don't just learn all this, learn it and then apply the information that is taught to you. And that's the one thing I changed was just, you know, like Amanda said, I wanted to be a customer enroller and I just applied what somebody told me to do.
Yep. And I think even for me, you guys, 5 years is not a huge amount of time in the grand scheme of having a career. But what I did 5 years ago to get to ambassador is not going to work today because social media has changed. We didn't have algorithms. So, you know, you can't just go by the training that you guys, 5 years have gone by. So if you joined me in 2014 or 15 and you're still doing the training that I did way back then, bits and pieces of it. Yes, we've always had the things that make you joy. I've always called it your own commercial. Some stuff has never changed, but other stuff you have to be willing to go outside your comfort zone. So I hope that you oldies on here take that away and that you too can be the next Hannah customer enrolling machine. So thank you, Hannah.
You're welcome.
Awesome. And Hannah is going ambassador this year, just in case FYI anyone wanted to know. So there's
yeah. Just one last thing. Sorry, I just wanted to say this too. I remembered you said this, that, you know, like you were like, oh, you're doing all this on Facebook. Whereas before I got to ambassador on Instagram, I will say that a lot of the people, I'm in a push to ambassador group with a ton of other sidelines, and we all do our businesses a little bit differently, but a lot of these girls are 99% Instagram. So like Cassie Westland's team, she's like the one who just like pops into number 2 out of nowhere. Like they're all Instagram, don't use Facebook at all. It's just where you're working your business and what you're comfortable doing. I'm comfortable on Facebook. If you're comfortable on Instagram, rock it on Instagram.
Yes, you can absolutely still get to the top on Instagram. It's just different. You have to do, we didn't have stories, you know, it's just different. So awesome. Thank you, Hannah. All right. I saw her over here somewhere. Where is Megan Moulton? Hi, Megan. So you guys, Megan is like this like silent rock star. She's been presidential for a while. And many of you guys know I signed Courtney, like beautiful red hair Courtney. And Megan is Courtney's Courtney. Like how Courtney is to me, that's what Megan is to Courtney. Does that make sense? She's like her person, okay? But she just likes to be quiet and shy. And y'all, I heard Megan is like hustling this month, signing so many customers. So I am very excited to hear from Megan because I don't hear from her very often, which means a lot of you don't either. So Megan, the floor. What have you been doing? I know that, you know, last year was a crazy year for a lot of people, but you just like have come out of nowhere. What changed and what are you doing?
Yeah, so I have never been a huge customer signing person. I was always kind of like Michelle, like I always signed a ton of distributors just like you, Amanda. And then I don't know what happened. It took me a while to really jump on this host to post train. Like I kept seeing everybody doing it and I'm like, okay, I really need to try it. But I didn't. And then I didn't. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. And I just started messaging people, and asking them to do me a favor by making a post for me. And all of a sudden it was like everything exploded. Like I would be doing these host to posts and all of a sudden one would have like 25 comments. And I would get these huge hits so I'm signing customers from host to post, but I'm also signing distributors from host to post because so many times if somebody gets a ton of hits on their posts, I turn them into a distributor because they already have a ton of potentials on this post that they made. Or if somebody's coming to me about the product and they're not, they don't have the money, I turn them into a distributor. So I'm doing a couple different things with host to post, but host to post is one thing that changed the game for me. The other thing that really has, I would say this month for sure, has completely changed it for me is voice memos are life. Like I hardly ever type out a message anymore. It's like takes too much damn time, like typing it all out. Like I'm just over it. And I think that it is important for people to hear you, to hear your voice, to hear your excitement, to know you're a real person and you're not just like a typing behind a computer, So I send voice memos all the time. And maybe the initial message might be a typed out message that I can just copy and paste, but for the most part, I'm sending voice memos. I'm talking to them like they're standing right in front of me. And I'm just being personable with them and excited because I think if you're not excited about these products and you're not excited about this business, they're not going to be either. So if you're not sharing your excitement, they're not going to get excited. I've always said that I really think excitement is the key to this business. But you can't fake excitement, like they're going to sense that. They're going to sense if you are not truly excited about this business and truly excited about these products that you're using. So host post, voice memos, and consistently posting every single day about products, about business, like just staying consistent in every day.
I love it. So there's a couple questions happening over here. So let's say that you're going through your Facebook friends list looking for someone to ask to be a host. Let's say you get to my name, and are you going to send me a voice memo to ask me to do a host? Like, how does that process look like for you?
Okay, so when I ask people to do a host post, I do like the green light messaging, like I go to whoever's active and I go through there, and that's how I message people. And no, the initial message is not a voice memo message. It's just like, hey, can I ask you to do me a quick favor? Like, I think I got this from like Lori Conway or something, but she was like, can I ask you to do me a quick favor? No, I'm not going to ask you to join me or buy from me, LOL kind of thing. So that's the initial message that I'm sending. And even typically if somebody like comments on a host to post, it's just a lot easier sometimes to copy and paste a text in that initial response. But if they respond that yes, they want more info, then I go directly to voice memo.
And then another thing, since you're rocking host to post, are you always giving out like a sample if you sign a customer? Are you offer some people are doing that, newbies that get a little like, I can't do that. So what is your host to post format? Yeah,
so I do offer a sample if somebody orders from their post. But I always tell my team, like, you don't have to do that. If you're new, you don't always have product. Sorry, my dog's going to bark because my husband's coming home. Sorry.
That's okay. Sorry. Okay, so host to post have been huge for you. I went over to your page and I feel like you've kind of had a shift in your posting also. Like I just feel your excitement coming through more. So yeah. Do you think that plays a lot in people, wanting to jump on board and help you?
Yes, for sure. And I think that's where I was talking like how you can't fake the excitement. I think a lot of times last year I was trying to fake the excitement, which is why I wasn't enrolling as much, and I think the excitement now is stemming from a serious momentum that I have never experienced in this business. So I think that's where it's all coming from, because you have to share your real excitement. So if you're truly excited, you need to be talking about it and sharing it for sure.
So I hope what you guys can take from Megan is that, you know, her business was kind of ho-ho, you know, going along, but then you can just wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what, this business is freaking awesome and I'm going to be more excited and it's going to shine through and you can start mass enrolling customers because that is exactly what Megan's business is doing.
Yes.
I love it. Okay. And last question. So would you say also that you are mostly like just doing stuff online or do you do any of your business? I know you guys are kind of like in a small town. It's cold. I don't know if you can go outside where you live, but do you do anything like outside of social media?
I do vendor events sometimes, not all the time. I do, like if I'm out and about, I try to use the products purposely in front of someone so that it will get them asking questions. So yeah, I mean, I don't do a ton of in-person stuff, but I do take full advantage when I am in front of people.
And I know also like Michelle, you have a lot of very specific things that bring you joy and things that you like advocate for. So are you doing a lot of Facebook group interaction also and adding from groups?
I don't add a ton from groups actually. So I'm HIV positive. I've been HIV positive for 10 years now. And so I find that the people in those groups are not like the happiest people all the time, you know, and I'm trying to change that, which is why I'm so open about that. But I tend to friend people from like local businesses, like local business pages, or I go to kind of like I do on Instagram. I go to my friends that I have a ton of mutual friends with, and I'll just friend their friends. Just like I would on Instagram, like just friend other people's followers kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is a great tip. Well, thank you, Megan. Do you have anything else that maybe I forgot to ask?
I don't think so.
I'm just really excited, y'all. Megan is very introverted, very shy like Courtney. So she's probably secretly dying on the inside and very happy that her turn is over. But thank you, Megan. We need to hear more from you because you are just awesome and have so much to offer. Megan is also going to be an ambassador on this team very soon because her team is crushing it. So thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
Where's Ashley? Look, Ashley, y'all, has been in this business for like almost 5 years too, and I still can't say her last name. So Ashley K, where are you at?
I'm here.
Okay, tell us, how did you say your name?
Cree Shock.
Oh, really?
I had to teach myself like phonetically how to say it before I got married. So it's like, Cree Shock.
Shock, like a shock.
Like a shock.
Really? Oh, that's nice. Oh.
I went from Richard to that, so I had to train myself on how to.
That is awesome. Well, hello. Thank you for being so patient. And like, girlfriend, I was like doing reports in eSuite because I do have a green side, and your team and your volume is like exploding. So I know y'all are doing something. So talk to me. What is happening over in Ashley world?
Okay, well, you guys, there's been a ton of awesome information. Like, I'm taking nuggets, and I'm like, okay, and I see some of my leaders are on here too, probably taking notes. So make sure that you guys are obviously soaking this up. But truthfully, Hannah and I work really close together, like in terms of events for our teams, and our styles are really the same. So I was like, dang, Hannah said everything. What am I going to say? But here's what I'll tell you guys. I was always notoriously, same thing, a really strong distributor enroller. It wasn't until I just stopped caring what people thought about my body, my cellulite, my weight gain, whatever. And I became a product of the products. Even when we couldn't afford to be, I made swaps in my house. So like instead of, like now, for example, back then, if I had coffee, instead of going to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, I would save my money and go buy my own keto coffee and support my own business. Back then, instead of buying vitamins and whatever from other companies, I made it a point to buy it from myself and become a product of our products. So when I stopped caring about people's opinions because they don't pay your bills, and I started becoming a product of the products, I gained credibility. And then I really started to sign a good amount of customers, but never consistently like mass enrolling, probably really until the last couple months. But again, I was trying to think what to say that Hannah didn't say. And I was thinking about how my approach, you guys, hasn't really changed. I call it a lead ladder approach. And I don't know, some of you guys might have heard me say this on a Zoom with Kim before. So I always found it easier to approach people about the business when I was making initial contact, instead of approaching them and saying like, hey, you want to try my skinny wrap, or you want to try my greens? And then people would be like, wait, do you think I need it? Do you think I'm fat? Like, I would overthink it. So I would always lead in with the business like, hey girl, you know, I just wanted to reach out. Thank you for all the love and support for my family and for my business. I'm a notorious liker messenger. I have always messaged my likers to build a relationship with them. And I'll say, you know, I think you'd be super awesome. Have you ever thought about earning an additional income? And then they would say yes, no, whatever. Guys, if I get told no and I start up here, I don't just disappear. I go, you know what? I work through those objections. If it's money, experience, time, I've done it before, my sister did it and she failed, whatever. All those things that we deal with, you guys, I then go, you know what? I totally understand where you're coming from after I've done all the objections, because I'm like the queen of like firing back with objections, self-proclaimed, okay? And then I'll say, you know, why don't you become one of my product testers? You're really worried about trying products before, you know, diving into something like this. So why don't you, you know, try one of my products? We'll get you through a 90-day challenge. You'll have your own testimonial, yada, yada. Okay, so now I'm on step 2 of that lead ladder. Okay, I'm working my way down. They're going to say, I have no money. I have no time for that. I can't do this. I can't do that. I've tried it before. It didn't work. Whatever. You guys, you'll deal with all those objections. And the next place I'm going is host to post. So I've started here and I have kind of worked my way down, and I have always done it that way. Before host to post, it was more or less just like more liking, more interacting, more commenting. But host to post has really opened up the network, because I have built 99% of my business on social. I was more Instagram my first 2 years. My last 2 years has been way more Facebook. So I just go down that lead ladder and I figure, you know what, what's the worst that's going to happen? You get really strong and confident. Okay, you work your way through all those objections. You ask your enroller and your sponsor and your team page for help. And then they throw up a host to post for you, and now you get to tap into their market. And maybe you don't sign Susie as a loyal customer, but you just signed up 5 of her friends because you work through that lead ladder. So that's pretty much how I've always done it.
Look, Hannah has another tip, but she's afraid to pop in. Come on, Hannah.
I'm here. I didn't want to interrupt Ashley, but she just reminded me of something too, is if you have a potential customer that's been on your list and they're like, you know, on Friday I'll order. And every single Friday they're either like not answering or they're telling you next Friday. Like, I don't have the money. Have them do a host to post of like, you know, you can offer the business side, of course, but then you sometimes run into that money issue again where they don't have the money to enroll. Ask them to do a host to post. Just say, you know, like, instead of becoming a customer right now, can you like post this on your wall for me? And I'll give you some samples that you want to try for free. So like if they're a potential for the keto coffee, I can send them some samples if I gain a customer from their post. If you don't have that option, you know, just, I would say like go to your like upline leader. Most of the time, like, you know, they'll offer to do that for you. But so sometimes what's happening is I had this one person on my list for like 4 weeks, and I asked them to do a host to post, and now suddenly I have 6 customers enrolling off of one person who wasn't purchasing for like 4 weeks in a row.
And the key there is you just ask. Like the worst they're going to say is no. But if you keep this lead ladder thing in your mind, I don't know why I call it that, but we'll just roll with it. And you go down, you're going to be like, oh, they told me no on PDT. Okay, I'm going to get really good at overcoming those objections. Let's get into loyal customer, then let's get into host to post. And you know what? You have now maximized that conversation, and you're going to see that in the return on your steps to success. You're going to see that with your enrollments. You're going to see that with expanding your network, and all these little pieces that you hear Amanda say, and Hannah and Krista and Megan. It just like it all comes together. But you can't just do one piece and think the puzzle's going to happen. It's just not. Which is why I think it's super awesome that we're doing this, because we all have different styles. And to piggyback off what Hannah said, because again, we do things so the same, and I think we just do it organically. We didn't even know we were doing things the same way until we formed this alliance. But what I do is take it a step further on my social, you guys, is if I am gonna look at, if I did a bridal show, I just did a bridal show as an event, okay? Then I'm going to start adding all the people that replied they were going to that bridal show, okay? But I'm also going to then time hop myself and to start posting my wedding pictures, start posting my dress. Then I'm gonna remember the manufacturer of my dress, and maybe I'll tag them, and then I'll look at their Instagram. So when I'm adding people on Instagram or Facebook, they're gonna be like, oh, this girl's getting married too, or oh wait, she got married and her dress is so cute. So wherever I am adding, I am then making sure my social media supplements that. So where it might not be something that brings me joy, like on my bio, those 5 things, like I don't want to go adding, for example, if I go to a Paw Patrol live event, because my kids love Paw Patrol, right? Whose kids don't love Paw Patrol? But I go to Paw Patrol live, I add all those people. If they don't see anything about my kids and Paw Patrol, and like we went to the same event, you know, we did the same thing, like you have to have something in common and just try to mirror your social after what your initiative is for that day.
Oh, that's a great tip, especially because I wanted to throw in too. We've really been talking a lot about social media tonight, which you guys, like, social media right now is making millionaires. So I do want to throw in there something that we used to do that I know there are people that still do, is substitute out host a post to host a try it, host an in-person party for me. Because that's also how I got to Ambassador. Hey, my friend Alicia, you've got a whole bunch of friends. You're blue. She doesn't know what that means. But in my head, I'm thinking, dang, this girl always has friends over. She loves to host a party. Hey, I know you're not really interested in what I do and you're not sure about the products, but can you invite a bunch of your girlfriends over? I'm going to bring the champagne and we're going to do a little sample night. And if anyone signs up, I'll give you whatever, maybe $5 off a wrap, whatever the case is. But it doesn't have, like, host to post can be, you know, I think about someone like Lisa Walton, right? I always think about Lisa. She's my in-person queen. Is do that. Instead of host to post, invite people over. Find your blues and say, hey, will you host a get together for me? People love to host things oftentimes.
Yeah.
Okay? I love to have people over at my house. I just don't have the friends always to invite.
And I think too, like, Amanda, that's a great point. I am for example, I don't want to say my story because I know we'll be here all night, but I didn't have any support. I'm 1,000 miles away from home. I had no social media experience. My own mother would not become a customer because she thought it was nonsense, until I literally showed her like a $13,000 paycheck. Like, hello, they're not paying me in Monopoly money. Like, what are you doing? Like, guys, you don't need 1 million people to support you, but if you don't, it's the start that stops people. If you don't find one of these things that makes you tick, like that you're comfortable with, I had every reason not to be successful in this business. And I built entirely on social because I had nobody here. And I did it to triple diamond in 8 months. Okay. So amazing things can happen on social, because if you're someone like me, the no support, the 1,000 miles away from home, the million reasons why you can't be successful, you can do that on social, but it's a lot easier to do it in person because the people see it, they taste it, they smell it, they use it, they love you. If you're building on social, you have to be consistent, you have to be patient, and it takes time. Okay, I did social for 5 months straight. Like, anything Amanda said, I just like literally duplicated everything because I clung on to everything Amanda was saying. So I'm like, if Amanda's successful, then Ashley's going to be successful. And I don't even know what Instagram is, but I'm going to open up an Instagram. Like, I was a mess, you guys, but I just followed the leader and the magic happens. You just got to stay consistent with it. And just be strategic. So think about things that you're doing, events you're going to. Even my maternity photos, I went like all diva with my second son and had like a flower crown and this gown. I don't know what, it was gorgeous, but I was like, if I'm not gonna have a girl, I might as well be really girly. So go to the manufacturer of the dress. If you post a picture in your, maternity gown and you're tagging the manufacturer of the dress, go to the manufacturer's website, or Instagram or Facebook, and start adding those people. You have common interests. Just think a little bit deeper. Don't be the person that's going and doing fitness and health and whatever. Like, do things that are different. Think outside the box, and I promise you it's going to make a big difference.
Thank you. I love that. And especially, we do have people on here that do so many vendor events. Like, I have done so many vendor events, and it never occurred to me to find the matching event on Facebook and add all those people. Like, that just never even occurred to me. So I
did that with the bridal show. And this is my last statement because it's getting late. I did that with the bridal show I did 2 weeks ago in a town where nobody wants what we have and everybody's done it and yada, yada. And I have 3 distributors and like 13 customers because I went through the Facebook event. I added the people. I just post like to my heart's content, just like Amanda trained me how to do. And here I am 4.5 years later, and the fundamentals are still there. So definitely be a little bit more strategic, and I promise you guys it's gonna boom.
I love it. Thank you. Now so those were our VIP leaders, right? Like, copy the right cat. If you've been in this for 5 years, you're gonna have to change some things, okay? Don't be like 2018 Amanda, where I was just kind of hanging back here like, I don't want to do host to post. I don't want to do, don't be like me, okay? Instead, you've got to be willing to leave your comfort zone, try some new things, because in any business, it's not always going to be the exact same way that it was. And if you're new, my goodness, you have your hands on a gold mine. So there are a few other people. I know we're running late. If you have to jump off, cool, but the rest of the 80 something of y'all, I am learning a lot and I am soaking up every moment of this. So we're going to go for a little bit longer because there's a couple people that I know are like crushing the loyal customers, and I don't know if they know that they're going to be called on, and I hope none of them are yellow, but I saw there is a girl named Kelly Lashley. Lashley. Look, I'm so bad with names, y'all. Where's she at? I want to know what you're doing because you are signing the heck out of people. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, girl.
So real quick, just let us know what's your rank and how long have you been in, and tell me how you're signing customers this month.
So I have gotten to the rank of Ruby, but I am close to Emerald by like about 20 BV.
20?
But I'm charting double diamond, and I have been for a while. So, but I've been in for just almost 4 years now. But I really started to take it seriously about a year and a half ago. So that's kind of like the back history. We did, I was born and raised in South Florida, and we up and moved in July of 2017 to Austin, Texas. So we've been here, but I like slowed down on the business, and then had my little one and decided that like I needed to go like all out massive,
I think that a lot of people here can relate to that. I know I've got girls that have been in for 4 years, and I would say that they were dabblers. They use the products, they'll run an auto now and then. So you've had a mindset change, and now you're rocking and rolling. So what are you doing to sign your customers right now?
So I think the biggest thing for me was that I took control of my life physically and with the products. So to play off kind of what Ashley said, and I say this a lot like on our team page, is consistency. And I say this to a lot of the girls that are business partners of mine, is that literally every aspect you just have to be consistent, and you'll reap the benefits of it some way, shape, or form. But the moment that you lag a little bit in that is the moment that you see the repercussions of not being consistent either with the product. So when I first started, I was bigger, but I just like the products never really worked for me because I didn't use them properly. So I would use the greens here and there. I would use a shake here or there or whatever. But then when I really started to take control of my own life was when really I started to see it. So I've lost 55 pounds, but I have another 20 to 30 left. And so I'm just very vulnerable and honest and real on my social media. And I will show belly shots, and I will show that. And I was so just scared of that in the past. And so when I started to just be consistent, always just showing my results, and actually like what Hannah said is like, I've drank the coffee every day for the past over a year now. But it's always in either on my wall and Instagram also, or in my stories every single day consistently. So I don't blow it up on my actual wall every single day. But the other thing I do is I always try to showcase, it's not always necessarily like a cup of coffee made, but I will take the keto coffee and either I'll mix it in with the protein shake, or I'll make fat bombs with it, or I make ice cubes out of it. So I'm still using that same packet, but I'm showcasing it in different ways. So then people start to think like, oh, okay, it just doesn't have to be a normal cup of coffee then. I can still use this and just use it differently,
Awesome. So what I've taken from you is I do know that is a fear of a lot of people that, oh, I'm not this skinny size 4. I don't even need to be using a skinny wrap person. So I'm afraid to post my before and afters. I'm afraid to post about this business. How can I sell health and wellness products if I'm not healthy? Instead of change your mindset. This business and these products are what are going to catapult your health journey and completely change your life. So thank you for sharing that. I know that
yes.
I know that there's other people that share that, and congratulations.
Thank you.
A lot of customers this month, and I happen to know of someone who went from Ruby to Double Diamond in 1 month. Hi, I did that myself. So I'm challenging you to make that happen next month, girlfriend. And you said 20.
I'm in for the challenge.
Like maybe Emerald, because you're going to go Emerald before this month is over. We've still got like 3 days. So way to go.
Thank you.
All right. I also want to hear from, where is Kayla Hazel? I know you're on here because I searched who's on here, so you can't hide from me.
I'm here.
Hello.
But I'm here.
Hi. Okay.
Hi.
So I do not know you. So what's your rank and what have you been doing to rock this month? Because you have enrolled so many people.
So I'm currently Ruby, so close to Emerald, if and starting to try and fill my diamond chart. I basically just follow the leader from Ashley. She's sort of like my, I don't know, go-to for everything. And that's basically what I've been doing. I'm a big messenger person. Most of my stuff is on Facebook. But I message all the time. And I don't know, like I find myself on days where I don't, like I might only message, excuse me, like 5 people or 10 people if I get like super busy. And then I don't really sign anybody, but on days where I'm messaging like 50, plus people, I can like sign, like 5 customers.
So let me stop you real quick because I know people want to know, where do you find these 50 people to message? Are these current friends or?
So I'm very terrible, and I took from Hannah about writing things down because I have like my planner and all this and that, but I'm like so crazy busy, and for some reason, like at work, I'm super organized, but as my life gets crazier, I have 2 kids who are in sports and Girl Scouts, and I teach special ed, so it's like a ton of paperwork. So I'm just like, and I don't like write everything down like I should. So that's something I took that I need to do. But I got a lot of them from doing host to post. I'm a big host to poster. And Ashley does her like lead ladder sort of thing, and I do mine sort of backwards. So I'll ask people to host a post for me or whatever, and then they say they'll do it or whatnot. And then I always throw in, well, do you have any health or wellness goals that I can maybe help you out with? And then I'll like throw out there like, weight loss, immunity, detox, energy. So it sort of like opens a conversation. So not only are they like hosting for me, I'm trying to get them on board to become a customer. And then if, the money thing becomes an issue, then I'll throw out, I don't ever like want to overlook anybody that could benefit from this business. So have you ever thought of making money from your phone? So I sort of do my like lead ladder backwards. So I get a lot of them from host to post. I post pretty consistently on Facebook. There might be a day or 2 that I have like maybe 2 posts total, but I'm a big believer in being a product of the product myself. So I like drink my coffee every single day. So I always post, I turn it into something like, while I'm at work or something, how my morning's crazy and I need my coffee or something. And other products, like I started, trying a bunch of different other things. Like I use the immunity almost every day daily because I'm a teacher. Just all kinds of different things. I don't get as many customers from like liking and thing on my posts. I do reach out, like as Ashley said, in message, like my likers and commenters. I'm finding though lately a lot of those are already my customers, basically. So, but I basically just keep adding on my social media. So eventually, asking, a lot of the times that's where host to post is like so important for me because I'm outgoing, I guess, when I know somebody, but I'm like shy when it comes to like just reaching out to like a random person initially. So a lot of times that host to post opens that door. And then I'll always get a couple people that want to host it for me that I've never spoke to before. And then it opens like a whole new realm. Well, I keep everybody in my messenger, which this is where I need to write them down. Because if my messenger would ever crash, I probably have, well over 100. And I'll take like on a day that I take a lot. Like yesterday was my day of messaging. So I spent like countless hours. Not that you have, like anyone else has to do that, but a lot of times, I get like one day where I'll like do that. And I'll scroll all the way down to the bottom. So like all the way down to the bottom, I might do like 30 at a time. And I mass message. So a lot of it, like if they've been interested in like weight loss or something before, I message them about, being a product model for our thermophyte. So I just sort of like try to reconnect with them. And there's times where I message people, 7 and 8 times. And I've like learned from Ashley, until they tell me no, don't ever like not reach out to them, because I can't tell you how many times I'll get a customer, or they'll finally like randomly, it'll like click to them and they'll want to try it. So one day out of the blue, I'll get a message like, hey, I'm so sorry I haven't gotten back to you, but and then they'll end up signing. So I just go back and check with everybody. And that's just basically, my messaging is my biggest thing. I can tell, like, if I slack, I don't sign nearly as many customers.
Awesome. Okay, so what I hope you guys took from that is you've got to be reaching out. You've got to be asking people. And I am somebody, I will message you 10 times until you block me or like say stop messaging me. It's just an open invitation. I'm going to keep coming in your inbox. And I will say that one of the customers I signed like a couple of days ago, she wrote me and said, hey, I want to order that new product you keep posting about. And I happened to notice that it was blue above her, which means like I messaged her last. You guys, I scrolled and there was at least 10 messages where she never wrote me back about the business. And this was like going back years. She's just a random follower or whatever, but years, never wrote me back. And here she is still watching and signed up. So thank you so much for those tips. I also want to call on, she doesn't know how to call on her, but I want to, because this has all been like social or online, but I want to talk to Lisa Walton for 1 second. Look, she's dying. I unmuted you, friend. All right, Lisa, for those people who are rocking events, like you have such a way of like speaking with people in person. So real quickly, can you just tell me if someone walks up to your table at a vendor event, this can, you guys put in your head, someone walks up to you at the grocery store, someone walks up to you at, your kid's soccer game, what have you. So Lisa, I walk up to your table. What are you going to say to me to then get me to become a customer?
I say, hi, how are you? Have you ever heard of It Works? And they'll say yes or no. And I say, well, we're all about getting you healthy naturally. And then I'll ask, what kind of things that or actually I usually have the coffee there. Have you ever tasted the keto coffee? Would you like to taste it today? I also have the collagen. Sometimes I'll have the greens mixed up and we just start talking.
And Lisa is so good about getting them on Facebook too. Like I have seen you in action with those Blitz cards. Like she's very shy right now, but you guys, like in person works because that is how Lisa meets like all of her people. So don't take for granted this online. Now, Lisa, I just want to ask you because you've stayed here all night. I know you got a job. As someone who does most of their business in person, I wanted to ask somebody, is this overwhelming for you when we talk about all these host-to-post and messaging or adding, or do you think that someone that works full-time like yourself that does a lot of in-person, how feasible is it for you to take some of these tips you've learned tonight and incorporate that to help explode your business?
Very much so. I think that we need to you're going to hear things that you go, oh yeah, I'd like to do that. I got lots of notes right here. And I think the biggest thing is the one that said, don't just be listening, but to apply them, not just study, but to apply them. So take one at a time and do it.
Thank you, Lisa, for being so willing to talk because I do in the back of my mind wonder if someone thinks, okay, I'm only in person or I'm only online. I can't do the other. You can. Like Lisa said, take one tip. I know Lisa is for sure going to be adding everyone she literally works vendor events every weekend. She's going to take those tips now and add those people. That was a wonderful tip. So last thing, we're going to call on one more person and then we are going to wrap it up because I told y'all I could learn from you guys all night. So there is someone who's been commenting a lot tonight and I just found out that she's brand new and going Ruby like this month. So where is Amanda Ladon? I'm so bad with names. Where are you at, girlfriend? I want to know what you're doing to go Ruby as a newbie.
Hey.
Hello. Thank you so much for helping with all those comments and all of that. So you're brand new and you are rocking it. So as someone that is brand new, you kind of have this warm market. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing in your business?
So I kind of have been taking a lot of notes from Hannah and Teresa, with host to post, which I'm telling you guys, they are life. They have gotten me like 28 PLCs like since yesterday.
Wow.
And, I have been really kind of getting over my fear of cold messaging people. Just kind of be like, hey girl, I really like your profile. Your kids are adorable. Would you be ever interested in becoming a DT or, you know, ordering this product. I've had really a lot of success with it. So, you know, that's kind of a couple of things that I've been doing. But like I said, Hannah and Teresa have both been absolutely amazing with kind of just have just been like really good at like answering my questions that I have. And I am the queen of questions. You can ask Teresa. So it's kind of like always be like okay with asking questions to your mentors and, you know, your upline. That's what I've like come with it. And I'm always like worried about what other people think. And I think someone else said this, like, I'm kind of like over the fact, like, what are people going to think of me? I've had so many people their responses have been so surprising. Just be like, hey girl, you have an amazing profile. Would you be willing to do a host to post? And most people are like, yeah, absolutely. I've gotten 18, 19, I think, host to post from yesterday. And, you know, people are going from doing host to post to actually wanting to order. So it's just kind of, I don't know, I'm new, so I really don't have a lot of experience with it, but, you know, I've been super successful so far, so.
Thank you. I'm excited for you to promote too. Oh, go ahead, Hannah, sorry.
I was going to say, I think the biggest thing about Amanda is that she takes the tips and applies them. And this is something, again, like, you know, Lisa reiterated it. Some people get hung up. And just like Ashley said, it's the start that holds people back. But Amanda was just like, saw this opportunity, saw the vision, wants to make a lot of money. And she's like, well, I'm going to do what the people making a lot of money are doing and telling me to do. She's on every single Zoom. She asks me for a one-on-one coaching call. I know she talks to Teresa all day long, and she just takes it and does it. She doesn't take it and sit on it and like worry about what people think, you know, and maybe she does a little bit, like she just said, she's a person who worries about that, but she's like, well, my goals are more important and I can't deposit excuses into my bank account.
I love it. That's like the best tip. And I think it's so awesome because this company's been open for 18 years, you guys. And so sometimes in my mind, I'm like, well, shoot, everyone's heard about us by now, but that's just not the case. And especially with these newbies in their markets, like they make posts and everyone wants what we have. I mean, Michelle has, I don't know if she's on here tonight, but Heather is like, went Ruby and she's been in for 3 weeks and is already filling out her double. I mean, it's crazy. So that is awesome. I'm excited to see that promotion. And look, y'all must want to learn with me too. I expected everyone to be jumping off by now. We've been at this for an hour, but look, this is the best Zoom I've been on in weeks. So, okay, I lied. There's one more person. Where'd she go? Make sure she's still on. Hold on. I'm going through the pictures. I've learned so much. I hope you guys have learned a lot. She was just here. Hold on. I'm going to change the view. I have taken a lot of notes. Oh, she just turned off her face. Where are you at, Jackie Wilson? You come back. I just saw you sitting there. I saw her face and now it's gone. But I want Jackie to come back and I have a question. Oh, there she is. Hey, girl. Okay, so Jackie's going to close us up and she doesn't know this. I just called on her and hopefully her children are asleep or baby's asleep. But Jackie is someone who literally is who I clung to all of last year. Last year was a rough year for me personally. It's like my personal life, my health, just a lot of stuff going on. And Jackie is someone who her mindset and her belief have completely transformed her business and those around her. So she's part of my inner circle, my tribe. So Jackie, I want you to close out this Zoom for us because I know there's people on here who are like, okay, I am ready. I've heard these tips. I'm ready to go apply them. I'm sick of where I've been at for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So give us one tip on how changing your mindset and what you do daily have also helped you become a serious customer and distributor enroller.
Oh my word. This is a tall order. Okay. First of all, definitely have someone that you talk to a lot. Someone that's running with you is so important because I kind of felt like a lot of people had slowed down that I wore my accountability partners or left, and that happens in the business. I actually reached out to Hannah. She's the one that kind of lifted me up, and she was like, well, what are you doing for your business? Are you being the runner that your team needs you to be? And I was like, no, I'm not. And so I spent all of 2018 I'm a new mom, so I had to like refine myself, whatever, all that stuff. But I did a lot of self-development, you guys. I got really focused on what I wanted, and I kept hearing self-development like all the time. And self-development comes in different ways for different people. It could be a podcast, it could be reading a book, it could be watching the YouTube videos that those top leaders put out. Like all that is self-development. And I was doing that every single day because I realized like how much your belief can impact your posts and what you're telling people. Something Kim Touchton said a few weeks, whenever we had that in-person party, that made so much sense to me, because I was like, why are so many people putting in the work, but they're not getting the results? And she was saying that when you don't have belief in yourself, that people don't understand the difference between not having, you have belief in the business, the products, but you don't have belief in yourself. It comes off as you don't have belief in the products and the business. You can't understand the difference. And that made so much sense in my brain as to why everything is like coming full force for me, because I've changed my mindset and my belief. I have a whole wall of not just my dream board, but you know, the different, the different, what's it called? Like what I want my distributors to have, what is it called? Like I want them to be hardworking, and what is it called? There's a name for it. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Like
your affirmations?
Not just affirmations, but oh my gosh, such a simple word and I can't remember. Anyway, my brain is like, but just traits, different traits. So like every day I spend time first thing in the morning telling myself what I want for that day, setting my intention, setting my belief, like doing a journal. I have Rachel Hollis's journal. I'm like a Rachel Hollis crazy person. I will speak on her stage one day, but just doing so much to fill myself, because if you aren't full and your belief isn't there and your passion isn't there, then you can't spread that over your team and your potentials. So pouring into yourself full force first and having the belief in yourself that you can do it, because you probably already believe in the products and the business, you're here. But having that belief in yourself is how you're going to like zoom to the top. I don't know. That's the biggest thing I think I did for myself last year, was just poured into myself and my belief in what I have and my abilities, and be yourself. Like I am just myself. Like everyone knows when they come to my page what I'm about. I'm a Disney crazy person, and you would know it. And I don't care. I don't care if it's weird or nerdy. I'm just me. So
thank you, Jackie. And you guys, everyone needs a Jackie in their life, because you're on this Zoom. You've stayed on this Zoom for an hour and 27 minutes. Thank you, Jackie. Love you. And I hope you took away a whole bunch of tips. Okay. I know I did. You're going to go apply these tips. You're not going to become what I call the perpetual student. You're going to go actually do and put into action what you've learned. But you've got to keep your circle tight, okay? There's going to be negativity. You're going to have people tell you no. You're going to have people block you. You're going to have family members and friends tell you that you're stupid and this is never going to work and you threw away your career, or, you know, you're whatever. I had all of that happen to me. You're also going to have days where you think the world is falling, and even though you're at the top rank and everyone thinks you're awesome, you're going to feel like you're not, and you're going to have people like Jackie to pick you back up. So you've got to make sure that circle is so tight, and be careful who you let in that circle of influence, okay? Surround yourself with people like Hannah and Krista and Michelle and Jackie and Megan and all the people who talked tonight, because you guys, this is the year. I don't know if anyone else has noticed something called momentum, and if you're new, maybe you're like, oh, this is awesome. This is just normal. I am here to tell you this is my 5th January in this business, and we have never had enrollments like this. We have never had the massive amount of just the fire, I can't even explain it, you guys. And, you know, maybe you're thinking, oh my gosh, you say that every January. Not every January, okay? So take what we have, run with it. Post to posts are what's hot. So if you're not doing them, you're missing the ball. If you're not reaching out and messaging people, you're missing the ball. If, you know, do all the things. So I'm going to stop talking. Look, my glass is almost empty. I've been just milking my wine tonight. So I have a lot of work to do. It's only 10:30, and I know some of y'all love your sleep. I'm red. Maybe you don't like that I say this, but I believe millions are made after midnight, and we can sleep later. So I got a lot of work to do tonight. So thank you so much to all of you guys who took the time to comment and talk and speak. And we need to go sign some customers. I don't know about y'all, but we've got, what's today, the 28, 29, 30. We got 3 whole days left, and I have seen some magic happen in 3 days. Fun fact, I was diamond around this time when I promoted to double diamond just 2 days later. So make it happen. Don't stop running. And I'm telling you, if you guys work with this intensity that you have right now for the next 90 days, we're going to have a whole lot more VIPs on our team, because I went from distributor to triple diamond during my first boot camp and my first 90-day run. So congratulations to all of you ahead of time for going VIP. All right, y'all, have a wonderful night. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.